I know it might seem a little bit crazy to be saying thank you to Donald at this point because he took away a third of my portfolio as a result of his tariffs and his re-engineering of the economic world to favor the United States. And I can't argue with it needed to be done, but it came at an inappropriate time. But on the other hand, I had seen some of this coming, and I had taken about a third of my portfolio and put it into cash, so I'm in a favorable position. It reminds me so much of the favorable position I found myself in about 5 years ago. And that was after, I guess it was August of 2019, Warren Buffett shared with me that he was going to cash because of the debt situation that the United States was in. And he said this whole thing's going to explode. Well, it exploded, but it wasn't for the debt. It was because of the pandemic. And stocks like Exxon dropped 51%, Valero 50%. I point those two out because as I saw them drop, as well as McDonald's dropping 40% and American Express 52%, as I saw them dropping, I said, well, they're going to recover or we're all going to die. One of those two things are going to happen. Either we're all going to die from this respiratory disease that we're getting called COVID, or they will come back. And so I said, so if we all die and I made a mistake, so what? Well, that's the same thing I think was happening right now. Donald has put the market into a crash, the 2025 crash. And as a result of that, either our country is going to die as an economic power, or it's going to recover. And just like the COVID, it's an event. And all I have to do is make it through the event. Well, having an inkling that this was going to happen, I didn't go to 75% cash. I went to about 38% cash. And so I'm in a position that as I see these stocks coming down, all I have to do is to identify the ones who are going to come back the best, who are going to have the biggest loss from their 52-week high, which I track, and then which ones are financially stable that they can survive this and then thrive from it. So with that in mind, I got lucky again. I had decided I was going to figure this AI out. So I went and I subscribed for all these large language platforms, and one of them came up and said, we can give you a deep research, but you're going to have to pay us $200 a month to get access to it. Well, I bellied up the $200,000 or the $200 a month, and I started to learn it. And what I learned was that it was very capable, but I had to ask the right questions. I had to give it the information I needed it to analyze, like financial statements and balance sheets and cash flow statements, and then I had to ask the right questions as to seek out which of these are the biggest growers, and then I ask it, now give me a projection based on the current financial information you have, the past financial information you have, the management team that you have just explained to me, their solvency, their liquidity, and give me what you project and what Wall Street projects the price of the stock is going to be on January the 1st of 26, 27, and 28. Now, track that against its current price and tell me how much my dollar will return me in a percentage between what its price is today and what its price is going to be on January the 1st of 2028. And it came back, and some of them are 22%, and some of them are 400%. And it's all based on knowledge, and it's all based on facts, and it's all based on data and projection of data based on past performance. Now, past performance is no guarantee of future performance, but it gives you a way to start. It gives you all the information you need then to look at it and say, either I buy it into it or I don't. Now, it produces a document that's 17 pages long, okay? And that's hard to read. So what I do is I upload it into a Word document, and then I ask Word, read it to me. And I go through it line and line, and I watch it, and I listen to it, and I come away with a synopsis. Then I take it and say, I think I'd like somebody else to analyze it. So I take it to Brad and Samantha and I say, make me a podcast, about a 15 to 20 minute podcast that explains this in language that I can understand. Okay. And then I say, okay, now put that in a briefing of about 3 pages that I can understand. And so now I have 3 documents that give me the analysis of the 60 stocks that I'm following. I'm cutting some of them out as not interested, and then right now I've done about 30, and they're on my website. And so what I have done then is said, okay, here is their potential gain. Now what it also gave me was a technical analysis that said it's in a dip right now. They're calling this a dip. I'll call it a crash. And we're going to tell you where, when it turns and the 50-day crosses the 200-day, and that's our buy-in point. That's what it's giving me. Okay? I want you to put that in perspective. If I had access to Goldman Sachs's analysts, and I don't know how many they have, maybe 150, and each one of them analyzes 10 stocks, and they go through the balance sheets, and they go through the income statements, and they interview the CEOs, and they know more about that company than anybody in the world, except me, because they're one analyst. I'm getting the information from the entire internet. I'm getting the information from every analyst that analyzes the stocks. I'm condensing it. I'm putting it in a format that I can understand, and then I'm making investment decisions. I'm not buying today because I'm not going to try to catch the falling knife. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to wait until it turns and starts coming up, and then I'm going to implement my cash. Now, am I selling what I've got? No, because I don't know where the bottom is. I'm not bottom fishing, okay? I don't want to sleep with the fish. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Now, on a broader scale, think about how if this is given this to me, Kerry Grinkmeyer, an 80-year-old retired financial advisor, if it's given me this access, what's it going to do to every other element of the world? What's it going to do to the medical field? What if I know the right questions to ask to find a cure for cancer or for heart disease or obesity? What if I know the right questions and can build the prompt and then access all the information in the world? What is that worth? Is that worth $20 a month? Is it worth $200 a month? Is it worth $200,000 a month? I don't know, but I know it's worth a hell of a lot. And if I can do this for stocks, and then if Jensen gives me where I don't have to spend 8 hours, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week doing this, and I can ask a computer, Samantha, here's the parameters, here's what I want you to do, here's where I want you to go to get the information. Now do it every night. Do it every night. And then alert me in the morning of what is the best that you found. What if I can do that for cancer? What if I can do it for heart disease? What if I can do it for whatever? That's where the world is going. What is it worth? I have found a program that is worth $200 a month to me. I suspect it's going to get better because it's only 2 years old. The deep learning, the deep research is only 30 days old. Where is this going? Okay, I want you to have access to this. You know, I'm not a hedge fund. I'm not going to charge you, say to you, ticket of entry, you've got to bring me $1 million, and I'm going to charge you 2% management fee, and then I'm going to take 20% of your profits. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask you to share in my cost, which I would estimate, because I've been doing this I've been a financial advisor most of my life. And this is where I am now. So I assume you're going to pay me for that, plus the data that I have access to, plus the computer program that I have, plus the people that I pay monthly to support me. I expect you to participate in that. I'm going to charge you $30 a month, $29.95. And I'm going to give you a free trial. If it doesn't work, if you can't make money more than $29.95 a month, you look at it for 14 days, make that decision, and if you can't, and you'd rather spend that $29.95 on eggs, then go spend it on eggs. But if you'd like to have access to my knowledge, and my knowledge has now increased to all the knowledge in the world on the financial markets and individual stocks, if you want part of that, you know where to come. Go into the description, click on the gold platform, enter your information, and welcome to my world.